The boy who was never enrolled. They say the most innocent places hide the most terrifying secrets, and if you really think about it, what could be more innocent than a kindergarten? It happened a few years ago in a small town. The teachers thought it was a prank at first, until the cameras showed what no one could explain. Miss Laura had been teaching at Little Steps Kindergarten for 7 years. She loved her job, the laughter, the drawings, the endless noise of children. But at the start of the new school year, something felt wrong, something she couldn't quite name. Every morning, when she took attendance, a small boy in a blue uniform sat quietly at the very back of the classroom. He never raised his hand, he never played, he just watched. His eyes were strange, like he wasn't really there. When Laura asked his name, he whispered, almost afraid to speak. My mom said I'm not supposed to tell. She smiled, thinking he was shy. But that afternoon, when she checked the enrollment list, his name wasn't there, not anywhere. She asked the children about him. They all said he was their friend. They even drew pictures of him. But in every single drawing, his face was scribbled out with a black crayon. Laura felt uneasy. The next morning, she stood by the door and greeted each child as they arrived. She counted them carefully, one by one. But when she turned to face the class, there he was again, already sitting in the back, smiling. That night, she stayed late and watched the classroom security footage. At first, everything looked normal. Children entered, laughing, dropping their bags, running to their seats. And then, at minute 12, the camera flickered. For half a second, there was static, and when the image cleared, the boy was there, sitting perfectly still in the last chair. The door had never opened. She checked the footage from the previous days. Every time, the same thing. He simply appeared. No entry, no sound, just appeared. The next morning, Laura arrived before everyone else. The classroom was empty, the chairs perfectly lined up, but on the last desk lay a piece of paper. It was a child's drawing, a group of happy kids holding hands, and one figure drawn in the corner, all black, no face, no eyes, just a dark outline and a sentence written in uneven letters. I want to be on the list too. That was the last day Miss Laura ever taught there. Weeks later, the parents started noticing something strange in their children's drawings. The same black figure kept appearing in the corner of every page, sometimes standing behind them, sometimes holding their hands, always faceless, always watching. No one could explain it. No one remembered seeing a boy in a blue uniform, but when the school tried to find the previous construction records, they discovered something buried. Before the kindergarten, the building had been a small daycare. It had burned down decades ago. 3 children never made it out, and one of them had never been officially registered. Now, every new teacher who enters that classroom swears they feel someone sitting behind them when they stay after hours. A faint sound of breathing, a chair creaking softly in the dark, and sometimes, when they turn off the lights and glance at the window's reflection, they see a small figure in a blue uniform, smiling from the last row, waiting to be called. If you like it, I invite you to leave me a like and subscribe. Story number 2. The Sleep Room. The kindergarten was called Bright Horizons, but everyone in town remembered it by another name. The Sleep Room. It was supposed to be a safe place, just a small nap room for toddlers, painted with clouds and cartoon suns. but something about that room felt wrong. Even the light never seemed to reach it properly. It was always a little too cold, a little too quiet. Miss Evelyn was new. She had replaced a teacher who quit suddenly, without giving any explanation. On her first day, the children told her something strange. They said they didn't like nap time anymore. When she asked why, one little girl whispered, "Because the lady in the ceiling watches us." Evelyn laughed, thinking it was a child's imagination, until nap time came. As she tucked them in, one by one, she noticed all the kids were facing the same direction, toward the far wall. None of them wanted the last mat near the corner. That spot stayed empty every day. After the lights were dimmed, she sat at her desk, scrolling on her phone until she heard it. A small, rhythmic tapping, like fingernails brushing wood. She looked up. Nothing. The sound stopped, then came again, a little louder, directly above her. She stepped onto a chair and aimed her flashlight at the ceiling tiles. One of them had scratches on it, tiny, uneven scratches, like someone had been digging at it from the inside. The next day, she mentioned it to the janitor. He froze, then said quietly, "Don't open that one. It's sealed for a reason," and he walked away. That night, Evelyn couldn't stop thinking about it. She went back to the room after hours, alone, the building empty. The hallways smelled of old crayons and bleach. When she reached the nap room, she turned on her flashlight and noticed something. All the sleeping mats had been moved into a perfect circle. In the center, on the floor, were small handprints made of chalk dust, child-sized, and one larger. She told herself it was a prank, but as she turned to leave, the lights flickered, and from above, she heard it again, that same tapping, faster this time. Then a voice, soft, almost kind. "I used to help them sleep." The tile above her shifted, just slightly. A thin hand, gray, trembling, reached through the gap and dragged its nails along the edge. Evelyn froze. The whisper came again, closer. "They never wake up crying anymore." She ran. No one saw her again after that night. The next morning, the children were found waiting outside the nap room, calm, smiling. All their little mats were gone. The floor was bare, except for one new thing, a drawing, crayons pressed deep into the paper, a circle of children all asleep, and a tall woman standing above them with hollow eyes and no mouth. At the bottom, written in red, "Thank you for keeping us quiet." Weeks later, the janitor quit too. He told the principal the ceiling tile had fallen during cleaning. Behind it, they found a small wooden cradle wedged in the beams, rocking ever so slightly, as if something invisible still slept inside. No one enters the sleep room anymore. But at night, when the wind moves through the halls, teachers swear they can hear the faint sound of humming, a lullaby, soft and broken, echoing from the ceiling. And sometimes, if you stay long enough, you can still hear the tapping, like fingernails brushing the wood.